A toy for the initial grade ABRSM, left hand only. This video is for left hand playing in absolute free time. We're not going to worry about rhythms or beats or tempo or dynamics or articulation. The only thing we're going to be concerned with is what finger to play and on what letter name key. So in absolute free time, the left hand doesn't start until the second bar with the third finger on the B. We step up to the second finger on the C. We step down to the B again, step down to the A, step down to the 5 on the G, and then you play the same G again. Pick up your hand and put thumb on the D below that. D, steps down to C, steps down to B, steps down to A, steps down to G, up to the thumb on the D, down a third to the third finger on B, up a second to 2 on C, down a second to 3 on B, down a second to 4 on A, down a second to the 5 on the G, and then you play the same G again. Then there's a bar of rest. The thumb leaps up to the G up above, middle C, thumb G, down a second to 2 on F, down a second to 3 on E, down a second to 4 on D, down a second to 5 on C, stay right there. You're going to put 2 on the F sharp and 4 on the G. Now let's take our time in figuring out how to get to the next thing that happens. Let's get the thumb underneath and put it on the E, and the 5 is going to reach down for the A, and we're going to come right back to that same 2 and 4 on the D and F sharp. Let's look at that again. That's bars 11 and 12. So we start with this D and F sharp, 2 and 4. Get the thumb underneath the hand. 5 reaches down for the A. Come right back up to that D and F sharp and play that same D and F sharp again. Then we have a whole bar of rest for bar 13. Pick up the thumb and put it on the A. Now don't forget, F is sharp because of the key sign, stepping down for those 5 notes. Then there's a whole bar of rest. Then you put your thumb on the G key. G, F natural because of the accidental. Step down to E, step down to D, step down to C. Now remember that third that we played before? We're going to play that again. 2 and 4. 2 on the F sharp, 4 on the D. Now at this point in time in bar 17, we change to bass clef notes, but we're not going up, we're going down. Bass clef is below middle C. So from where I am, here's middle C. Where I am right now, 4 and 2 sharp, is in treble clef. So I have to pick up my left hand and put 5 on the G below middle C. Now the thumb is on the D space. Step down to 2 on C. Step down to 3 on B. Pick up that left hand and put the 1 on the A right next to it. D and A. And play that D and A again. 2 is already on the G. Take the thumb and put it on B. I'm going to do that whole last line again, starting with the thumb in bar 16 on G. G steps down to F, steps down to E, steps down to D, steps down to C. From where you are right there, D and F sharp, 2 and 4. From there, we're going to pick up the hand and put 5 on the G just below C. Up a 5th to the D, step down to C, step down to B. Pick up your hand and move it down to D and A. Same D and A. And then 2 on the G, move the thumb to B. Now I'm going to play that whole left hand from the very beginning in strict time, but very slow. I'm going to count like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and ready, here we go, and rest, and 2 and 3 and rest, and 2 and 3 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and rest, and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest, and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest, and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2